Greetings and welcome back to the Casual Wargamer. You join me this evening. It's very cold and windy out there. I've got my hot chocolate. I hope you'll join me for another look at a Grotmas 2024 detachment. And today we'll be looking at the Khorne Daemons, Khorne specific detachment, the Blood Legion. So, this is a detachment designed for pushing you to play purely Khorne Daemons. Part of me is a little disappointed that they've gone the route of doing 4 specific detachments. I really had hoped that if we get a Demons Codex, you would have this in that book. So in a way, this feels to me some sort of vindication to the rumours going around that demons are going to get pushed into their respective Chaos Marine armies in much the same way as they are in Age of Sigmar. So you have like Disciples of Tzeentch and Head Knights of Slaanesh. I think you're going to end up with the same thing here, whether it just be called World Eaters, whatever. You'll get demons included, but this detachment will allow you to run just the Khorne Daemons. Or you could put some other bits in, but you're only going to benefit from playing purely Khorne. So let's take a look at this. There's 2 detachment rules in this. First is called Murder Call, and it's a fairly lengthy one again. It says that each time an enemy unit, excluding aircraft, ends a normal or advanced move within 6 inches of one or more Legions Demonica Khorne units from your army, one of those units gets to make a surge towards the enemy. And this is a d6 roll. Models in that unit move a number of inches up to this roll, but you must end that move as close as possible to that enemy unit. When doing this, models can be moved to engagement range of the enemy unit. A unit cannot make a surge move while it is otherwise engaged within engagement range of one or more enemy units. So it's giving you that need to get up the table, to run your demons closer to the enemy, so they're not potentially getting shot off the table all the time, and they can get towards what they need to be doing. This is not an army for finesse. This is an army of murder, behead, slay, kill, maim. In fact, I get the impression with this detachment, this is one of those rare detachments where I think you're probably just going to go for fixed objectives in your secondaries, because you're wanting to be killing things, not running off to the side and grabbing containment or whatever. And I think this kind of gives you that impetus to push forwards up the table, all but slowly. The other ability is called Blood Tainted. And at the end of a phase in which a Legions Demonica Khorne unit from your army destroyed an enemy unit that was in range of an objective marker at the start of the phase, if your unit has a higher level of control of that objective marker, it becomes yours until your opponent's is greater than yours at the end of a phase. So basically, the blood of your enemies makes your objective sticky, which is nicely thematic, and is giving you the ability to hold objectives and push further up the field. Again, I like it. It's very thematic, and it really does sort of give that Khorne imagery and sense. You've got 4 enhancements of normal, and you've got Slaughter Thirst for 35 points. Any Legions Demonica Khorne model, while a friendly Legions Demonica Khorne unit, excluding the monsters, is within 6 inches of the bearer, weapons equipped by that model have the Lance ability. So that's nice. Again, that's pushing that we're going to kill things a lot easier. 35 points seems a lot, but I can understand why. Fury's Cage for 20 points. This can only go on a Legions Demonica Khorne monster model. Each time the bearer is selected to fight, it can use this enhancement. If it does, it takes D3 plus 1 mortal wounds, but until the end of the phase, you can re-roll the hit roll and the wound roll. See, that's big. That's what you've got to know what you're roughly going up against, but that lets your bloodthirsters have a much easier time of going in, taking down tanks, vehicles, and other monsters. Likes it. The Brazen Maw for 15 points. Any Legions Demonica Khorne unit gets +2 to their charge roll for their unit. Nice. And Gateway Unto Damnation, which is a really odd one for 10 points. It's basically, the blurb for this says, Concealed within this demon's form is a portal into the depths of Khorne's realm. Anointed with gore and thrown wide by the demon's corporeal demise, it expands like a bloody singularity to drag everything in reach into the screaming maelstrom of the warp. This is kind of new. We've not seen this sort of thing with Khorne. But let's take a look. So it has to go on another Khorne monster. The bearer's deadly demise inflicts mortal wounds on a roll of 2+ instead of a 6. And if it has destroyed one or more enemy units during the battle, not necessarily that phase, just at some point in the game, it's killed at least one, the deadly demise becomes D3+3 instead of what it has on the datasheet. That's really, really good because your monsters are going to be killing things. I'm guessing it's 10 points because your opponent's probably going to be trying to gun that thing down as fast as possible before it gets into your lines and kills things, and then ends up blasting some of your models back into the warp. But all nice and thematic, all very fitting for Khorne and playable. Then we hit your stratagems, and these are very, very good. You've got Wrath Undeniable. In the fight phase, just after an enemy unit selected its targets, you pick one Legion's Demonica Khorne unit that's been selected one or more of those attacks, and it gets to fight on death on a 4+. Again, it's a stratagem we're seeing in a lot of these detachments, but in a way, this kind of works because you're a melee army, you want to be able to kill things in melee. Gore-hungry Onslaught. In your movement phase or in your charge phase, you pick one Legion's Demonica unit from your army, and each time for that phase, a model in the unit makes a move, it can move through terrain features. Again, this is one of those where I kind of go, do they really need this? I mean, cinematically, the idea of you putting this on something like a Bloodthirster and it's smashing its way through a building or a wall is really, really cool. And yes, it is an army that's built around melee, and that's what it wants to do. It just feels a little strong for the amount of damage that can potentially be dealt with this. Slowing things down and making them have to fly over or walk around. This kind of takes away some of the tactics for that, but I'm not going to complain in this instance. It's heavily thematic. It fits the concept of the detachment. Let's let them have it. Just don't let me be on the receiving end. Then you get Skulls Beget Blood, which is an interesting one. So the concept of this is basically that they grab skulls off of their racks or off the sides of their juggernauts, whatever, fill them with balefire and loz them at the enemy. So in your shooting phase, you select one Khorne infantry or mounted from your army, Legion's Demonica obviously, excluding those that fell back and is not within engagement range of one or more enemy units. And they pick an enemy unit within 8 inches and visible and roll 6 dice on a 4+. They take a mortal wound. So it's giving your Khorne infantry and mounted grenades, which is something that I think demons generally lack the ability to do. So that's really, really cool. Then you get Blood Begets Skulls. It's a flip. In your charge phase, one Legion's Demonica Khorne unit for army that has not been selected to charge this phase gets the ability to advance and charge. Great, it really fits into the theme again. Then you get Fool's Flight for 2 CP. It's the only one that's not 1 command point. In your opponent's movement phase, just after an enemy unit falls back, you can pick one Legion's Demonica Khorne unit from the army that is within 6 of that enemy unit and would be eligible to declare a charge against that enemy unit. Your unit now charges that target and you resolve the charge. But if successful, you do not receive any charge bonuses. So they fall back, you keep up with them and keep killing. Very, very nice. And lastly, you have Sheathed in Brass. Your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit selected its targets, one Legion's Demonica Khorne unit that was selected as a target of one or more of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, their save characteristic goes up to 3. That's really nice. You really need to keep a unit alive. It's not going to be great in a lot of things. I mean, you've got invulnerable saves, but if you really want a decent armor save on something just for a phase, can't complain. So, that is the Blood Legion. I like it. I think it's going to be I want to say it's going to be quite strong. I think mono demon armies don't do as well as they should do. Realistically, I think Games Workshop wants you to combine, but players understandably like to play a specific god. So when I say I think this will do really, really well, I don't know how well it will do from a competitive standpoint, but I think for most games, this detachment will be a lot of fun and will actually work really, really well. So thumbs up from me. I really like this one. Just as I say, I don't want to be on the receiving end of it. What are your thoughts on this one? Let me know if you're a Khorne player or you end up playing against demons a lot, especially Khorne ones. Let me know down below in the comments. In the meantime, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video when we take a look at the Slaanesh Demons detachment. Until then, take care, guys. Good gaming.